If y'all make me watch June kiss Luke one more time, I'm going to hurl. I don't want to see it. I don't want to see it anymore because it's a farce. And at this point, God save Janine.
Only apply that. Get it, don't be timid when you in it, apply that. Love a bone, give along, need it. I don't want no trip, baby, say it like
My name is Ashley, and this is My Sweet Perspective, where I give my take on all things TV and movie related, and I am here to put you on, okay? Welcome back to the channel, you guys. We are back today to talk Handmaid's Tale, Season 6, Episode 5, Janine, because this episode was all about the rescue mission to save Janine from Jezebel's, because at the end of the day, we know how June left her in Season 5. We know what happened and how she took yet another one for the team and had to return to Gilead and now is in a whorish capacity, which is the worst. So if you guys remember the end of episode 4, we know that there is this plan where Luke and Moira wanted to join Mayday in this rescue mission, not only to save some of the girls from Jezebel's, which is kind of a side mission, but ultimately the main goal is to take out as many commanders as we can. So Mayday and the peeps are getting ready for this mission. Commander Wharton and Nick have a conversation, and Commander Wharton is excited because the purpose of New Bethlehem is being realized. 26 families have been reunited, and he comes up and is asking about these 2 missing guardians. Well, 2 dead guardians, and one we discover that's actually in a coma. Baby, why you tell Nick that? Why did you tell Nick that? Why did you tell Nick that? Because he's got to go. Commander Wharton at this point knows everything. He knows that Nick has done this. This wasn't revealed in the show. This is my personal belief, okay? Commander Wharton knows all. He's worse than the Eye. He might actually be the leader of the Eye, okay, in Gilead, because he knows that Nick was a part of this and basically is like, this man is in a coma. When he wakes up, we're probably going to be able to identify what's going on. And of course, we'll get more into that later on in the episode. Aunt Lydia and Serena Joy have a conversation because, again, at this point, Auntie Lydia is traumatized, horrified to find out that Janine is being pimped out at Jezebel's, because Aunt Lydia acts like she never even knew Jezebel's existed in the past, okay? And so she's talking to Serena Joy, and she's like, Aunt Lydia, you never thought about what happens to these girls after they're handmaids? And Aunt Lydia asks her, did you? Was this a part of your plan? And basically Serena says, well, I've already accounted for this, and here is my plan. All of the retired handmaids, we can use them in New Bethlehem in this pregnancy center, fertility clinic, and they'll be great because it's a gift. And Aunt Lydia is immediately on board because we know that she is a true believer that believes that the handmaids were sent from heaven and this is their divine purpose to bring life to the world, okay? Moira, Luke, and June are now headed to Jezebel's. They arrive there, and Luke is a bumbling idiot. When June said he's just going to be unalived, it's just Luke is always going to be a liability. Okay. He's always going to need a savior. He is just not built for it. Tough. Talking about he's doing this for Hannah, baby. You're doing this for you. You've never been a fighter. Okay. You've never been a savior, not in this way, at least, baby Luke. But Moira and June get in, they're pretending to be Martha's, cleaning up the place. They have a couple of close calls, but ultimately they get in and they are able to recognize Janine. And Janine plays it cool because, listen, our girl is seasoned at this point, okay? And so we find out that, of course, Janine is Commander Lee's favorite. Commander Lee is the biggest idiot of all. He is a Nepo baby who is only in control because of who his father is. And he's a mirror. He's a monster. He's a sicko and he's a weenie. Okay. All of that. So apparently Commander Lee just loves Janine's dirty draws and talks about, we got to go to the penthouse. And so we know now that June and Moira have to get into the penthouse to clean, to talk to Janine, let her know the plan, let her figure out what's going on. Janine's like, listen, I can't talk right now. I'll be in room 618 as soon as I can. Y'all go over there and wait. So now we kind of see all of the commanders interacting. We see Commander Lawrence, and he briefly brushes by June when Commander Lee makes her pick up some, or not pick hiccup, but blot up a spill that he had. And it's like there's this sense like, oh, okay, I feel you, June. I feel your presence. I know who you are. And I'm like, okay, now she backs out, confidently because June, if nothing else, she's been back to Gilead 100 times. She knows how to be a little bit smooth and have some discretion. So they head on back to room 618. Meanwhile, Commander Lawrence is there and he's really watching how Commander Lee is treating Janine and is like, listen, Janine, I choose you, okay? But first, not without giving Commander Lee a tongue lashing. You're a monster. You're a weenie. Nobody likes you, okay? Nobody likes you. Nobody respects you. And, I'm taking your girl, all right? And, well, hurry back. Don't break her in too bad because I want to have fun with my kitty. Like, Lee is such a weenie, y'all. He is just such a gross, disgusting weenie. Ugh. Okay, and so Janine and Commander Lawrence get back into the room and it's never going to be that. And they're just kind of having a conversation. And she's like, listen, you need to get in this hidey hole, right? There's a hole in the wall where they can peep through. Like some of the girls like to do this to spy on the commanders. You need to know what's going on so you can do something. And so she decks out because she's got to get to room 618 to meet June and Moira. And while he is there, he hears of their plot to dispose him and what their real plans are with Bethlehem, which is what we knew. Gilead was never going to be enough for them. New Bethlehem was a ploy to look right in the eyes of the world and to get some of these people back. But I believe that the plan always was to cancel that out and have the same regime, the same plan, and to bring everyone back to Gilead. And that is what the other commanders are planning that Commander Lawrence had no clue about. He's basically just a figurehead right now. And Lee is like, I want him on the wall. I want him dead. And they're like, well, hold on. We can still use him. No, I want him dead. Well, do you think your father can get on board with that? Yeah, then I'm fine with it. They're all fine with it because they know that Lawrence at the end of the day is not a true believer. They think he's a good front for this new development, but ultimately he's on his way out. He's on his way out. Nick goes to see one of the guardians who's in the coma, honey, talks to his people and everything. The boy wakes up. Why did you wake up? And he says, do you recognize me? Do you know me? And then the heart rate did go up. I will say that the young man's heart rate did go up, but the young man was talking about a dog. Nick don't believe it, honey. So he went back in and shut the door. And we all know what that means. And for all of the people on TikTok who are going in on Nick and saying how he's this, he's MAGA, he's the worst of the worst. No, he's not. He's not. You guys out of that same mouth can side with June and say that she is a victim of her trauma and that's why she's as miserable and terrible as she is today as a person, but can't give that same grace to Nick. I don't believe in that. Nick did this as a means to survive. He's never been a true believer. He's never perpetuated that. Even when they had him married to that child bride, there were things and boundaries that he wouldn't cross. I just say, if you're going to have all of this animus and hate towards Nick, you need to carry that same hate and animus towards June. That's all I'm saying. Both are a product of their circumstances and are doing what they need to do to survive. And even now, Nick is acting as a double agent. So, I mean, who's really the bad person here? Nick has been the most selfless, the most about that action, all about June and the baby than anybody, even more than Nick. Nick looked good on paper. Nick was probably fine before the events of Gilead and the takeover. But Nick is who you want in the foxhole with you. He's who you want guarding your back. He's who you want when you're in the clutch. He is the one that's going to lay it all down to make sure that you live. And that's somebody I would want on my team. Just saying that. Just saying that. So now we get into the room with Janine and they're like, are you here to get us? What's the plan? And they're like, no, this was like a scouting mission. We'll be back in a week. We want to take out the commanders and get as many girls out of Jezebel's as we can. Janine's like, cool, I got you. I can trust my girls. We can have this. We've been waiting for this opportunity. And June's like, well, hold on. How about you come now? Janine, we'll figure out the rest. We're still coming back in a week, but I need you now. Okay. And Moira's like, well, no. And Janine actually thinks better of it and is like, no, I can't leave my girls. I refuse to leave my girls. And Moira's like, oh God, yeah, that's right. And June's like, Moira, damn, shut up. Like, all right. And so, she's got to get out of there. So Janine skedaddles. And now it's Moira and June to have this conversation. And the truth really came out in this conversation to me. Moira's like, so you got to make me look like I'm the bad guy? Moira, please. Moira, please. This is not the time for your meltdown. We had all the safe times in Canada before this for you to tell June how you really felt, that you hate her, that it's always about her, which it is. June, the sun revolves and sets on June. Let's be honest. That's the way it's been. And that's what June believes in her head. But in this moment, I've understood June. Like, I abandoned her. You don't know what this guilt feels like. You don't know what it's like to feel responsible, whatever. And then Moira's like, oh, yeah, I don't know. You didn't even have it as bad as me. I worked at Jezebel's. I wasn't just a handmaid. But whose choice was that? Whose choice was that, Moira? Why'd you get sent to Jezebel's? Let's go back. Rewind, sis. How did you get to Jezebel's? And again, kind of apples to oranges, who suffered worse by the hands of Gilead? And you guys both suffered. And I mean, at the end of it, they have to laugh about it. Like, I hate you right now, but I love you all the time, is what Moira says to June. And I get it. This is a strained friendship at this point. And June is very domineering in a friendship. It is very one-sided. She always knows what's right. And it's incumbent upon everyone to listen to what June has to say. And so they finally get that out. But again, wrong time, because as they're having this bout, an officer comes in and he wants some cookie nookie from a Martha. Oh no, don't pull your scarves up now. I see your face. You're cute. Get on that bed, Moira. And I'm like, oh, we're going to have to kill this man. That's just what we're going to have to do. And of course, they go to work. June was kind of floppy there, though. I was surprised by her at first. But Moira got that phone cord and went to work. But now what do we do with this body? We got to roll him out. Meanwhile, Luke and the other Mayday are waiting for them, and they're missing the deadline. They notice a guard is missing, so they call for a full lockdown of Jezebel's. Meanwhile, Moira and June are still stuck inside. Luke is trying to fake his way into it. And of course, he gets beat up. So God knows what's going to happen to Luke, because he's a damn liability. And finally, they're running. They've got this body. They get it into the incinerator, but now they have to get out of Jezebel's. And so they go into the parking garage and jump in front of a car. Whose car is it? Commander Lawrence. Commander Lawrence, we need your help. Mind you, it's off the cusp of him hearing about this coup, the secondary coup that will end with his head on a spike. And he's like, get in, just get in the damn car, June. I don't even want to know what you're doing here. Just get in the car. And this is how we wrap up episode 5. Again, God save Janine, because we're still going to have to find a way to get her out. I don't know the situation that Luke is in, if he's going to be prepared, or the one that follows up with this plan, if he's going to get tortured and spill, because Luke is not built for this life, y'all. Are we going to have to get Nick involved while Commander Wharton is all up his butt? Oh, and let me not forget this, because this is one of the biggest parts of the episode. Serena Joy gets proposed to. She's finna be married. I's married now. Yeah, she's about to be married to Commander Wharton. And as fine as Will is, all right, he is going to be hell on wheels. I guarantee you, it's too perfect. It's too perfect. It's too sweet. It's too loving. I don't know if he's going to put his hand on him. I don't know if he's going to rule with an iron fist. I don't know if he's just going to be an out and out demon to Serena Joy, but I know she is sealing her fate by agreeing to marry this man. Mark my word. Drop it in the comments. Let me know what you think, y'all. But thank you guys so much for watching. Please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and I will see y'all next week for episode 6 of The Handmaid's Tale. Have a great night.